Welcome everyone to today's session of the MBA Elevate series. So this is episode 4. So today we're going to be looking at giving back through UTS SOUL and UTS Shopfront. We have 2 special guests today. We have Maddy and Ruby who work at UTS Shopfront and UTS SOUL. So they're going to tell us more about the opportunities to engage within the curriculum and outside the curriculum. So it's fantastic to both have you on board today. I know quite a few of our students have engaged with UTS Shopfront and have really valued the learning experience and giving back through UTS Shopfront. And so that's something we would like to certainly promote in the MBA program further. So I'll hand over to you both, Maddy and Ruby. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, James. I'm going to start by talking about the SOUL Award. So I'm going to just share some slides with you all. So the SOUL program is a way for you to get involved in social impact while you're studying at UTS. So it's a program that supports UTS students to go beyond their degree and into the community to skill up, give back, and make change. So it's a great way to develop your experience, your skills, your networks while giving back. And it's open to all students at UTS. So if you're looking to build your networks, make friendships outside of your discipline, you'll meet students from all over UTS in our SOUL workshops and events. So it's a 2-stage program. We've got the badge, which is stage 1, and the award. So in the badge, you'll do an online module and 35 hours of social impact action. And in the award, you'll do a face-to-face workshop and an additional 55 hours of social impact action. So the badge is a prerequisite to enrolling in the award. And I'll explain more about the requirements of the program right now. So the first requirement is the social impact action. So 35 hours in the badge and 55 hours in the award. Social impact action hours are those that are unpaid and given willingly within Australia. You can count any hours that you've completed since commencing study at UTS. So even if you find out about SOUL later into your degree program and you've been engaging in this stuff since you started, you can count those hours. But the key thing is that they must contribute to a positive change that results in enhanced equity, inclusion, and or social justice. And we've got a QR code there on the screen if you'd like to read more about the policy and the details of that. So what does that actually look like? So we have 7 categories of social impact action. The first one is volunteering. We'll be pretty familiar with what that means. So working with an organisation to deliver on their mission. Advocacy and campaigning, working with others to affect change around a particular social issue. So this might be, engaging with an organisation that's looking to influence climate change policy, refugee policy. It could take many forms, activism, advocacy, campaigning, all that good stuff. Community building, so that's really focused around shared resources and connections. That's things like community spaces, community libraries, all of those things that bring people together to create those connections and shared resources. You can also engage in career-ready experience. So that's things like engaging with the community sector to improve your professional skills. So that could be an internship with a nonprofit organisation. It could be a skilled project that you complete through SOUL where you work on something for a community partner client. It could be a Shopfront project, which you'll hear more about a bit later on. Or it could even be, sitting on a governance board of a nonprofit organisation. We also recognise resourcing, so that's things like doing charity, fundraising, collecting donations, food banks, all that kind of stuff. Impact on campus, we have a list of programs, groups and opportunities to engage with stuff at UTS. So things like the Peer Network, the Bluebird Pantry, UTS Helps, Wellbeing Reps, there's a full list. And then finally, taking initiative. So that's doing something yourself. And it could be as simple as organising a cleanup in your local area for Clean Up Australia Day, or something as complex as starting your own nonprofit organisation. All right. So we also have some facilitated programs. These are the things that we run through the SOUL program. So we have Code Club, which is where students go into public libraries and deliver coding programs for young kids. You don't need to have any coding or experience with children to participate in this program. It's open to everyone. We also have a food circle with local organisation Glebe Youth Service. So you'd be going down to GYS in Glebe. It's about a 15-minute walk from UTS, and you'd be packing donations of food items into bags that are then delivered to community residents in need. And you also have the opportunity to go along with those hamper deliveries and meet the people that you're helping out. And finally, we have a program in partnership with the UTS Society of Communications working on comms briefs for community partner. We also have some optional programs. So the first one is the Soul Starter Grants. This is available to students in the award level of the SOUL program. And it's small grants of $500 to $1,000 for projects that enable social impact action, contribute to a culture of social justice at UTS, or to help create a society that is healthy, sustainable, and socially just. We're currently running our pilot program in 2024, so there'll be new dates for grant applications and capacity building workshops to help you prepare to apply for a grant in 2025. But if you're interested in checking out the program, there's a QR code link on the screen. And the next optional project is a Shopfront project. So Shopfront runs coursework projects with community organisations. As part of the MBA, you'll do the marketing decision-making subject. So if you select a project with a Shopfront community partner, you'll be able to count your project for the full 35 hours required for the SOUL badge. So all you'll need to do to achieve the badge is do the online module, but you will need to still log your hours via the form. There's a QR code again to some information about the Shopfront subjects and how you can count them towards SOUL, including some FAQs. So that's the first half of the program, your social impact action. And the second requirement component is some learning content. So I spoke briefly before that there's a requirement for the badge and the award, and I'll share some more details about what that looks like now. So the first stage, you'll complete the first module of the Empowered Leadership Lab. This is a core leadership skills module that has been developed by UTS co-curricular programs. And it's shared by programs like SOUL, Build, and the Brennan Justice and Leadership Program, which is for law students. So there's 3 modules. You'll have access to all 3 of them, but the only one that's required for the SOUL badge is the first one around social and cultural agility. It's online and self-paced, so you can do it at your own leisure. And you'll learn things about cross-cultural communication and inclusion. You'll learn about the concepts that underpin our social impact action hours policy. And you'll also learn a bit about social change and how it happens. In the award level of the program, we have a 2-hour in-person workshop called the Critical You. So this is a workshop around critical reflection. So you'll come to the workshop having already done your SOUL badge, having some social impact action experience and learning under your belt. And this workshop is about thinking about what does that mean? What have I learned from it? And where do I want to go next? We also have some optional SOUL sessions. So these are ways for you to engage with other soulies, make connections, while also skilling up further in your social impact skills. They do count towards your hours, up to 10 in each stage of the program. And I've got some examples of what we ran in spring this session. So the first one was around the outcomes from the Empowered Leadership Lab module. And then we had some kind of more specialized skills around asset-based thinking, appreciative inquiry, and conflict management. So great ways to expand your learning while also connecting with other UTS students from across the campus. So you've done your social impact action and your learning content. What do you get at the end of it? So in the badge, you'll get a certificate of completion, a LinkedIn recommendation, and an invitation to our graduation event. In the award, you'll get all of those things. Your recommendation will be more detailed and you get the choice of a LinkedIn or letter. And you'll also get recognition on your graduate statement when you graduate from your MBA. So that's the AHEGS comment. And we also nominate all of our award graduates for the Centre for Volunteering Recognition Award. And of course, you'll also get experience, skills, and networks for your future career. We have 3 graduation deadlines per year, 15th of February, 30th of May, and the 30th of October. So to achieve your badge or award, you just need to complete the requirements by those deadlines on your final session of study. Of course, you can complete the badge earlier, the award earlier, but that's the last date that you can achieve the badge or the award. Cool. So if you'd like to sign up, here's a QR code to our Career Hub site where you can register, find out more, check out our resources and all that good stuff. And now I'll hand over to Maddy.
Thanks, Ruby. Yeah, so Shopfront is SOUL's sister program, and we work in the curriculum, serving as a gateway between the community sector and UTS. So kind of what this looks like in practice is that we'll pair a small to medium community organisation with a subject to then deliver on community-led projects. We are the longest running service learning program in Australia, and since 1996, we've worked with over 1,000 community organisations on over 1,500 projects. Next slide. Thanks, Ruby. All right, so how is this relevant to you? Well, as Ruby said before, Shopfront is embedded in marketing decision-making, which is a core subject in MBA. And for one of your assessments, you're required to select an organisation and then create a comprehensive marketing strategy. For many of our domestic students, we know you might already have local contacts, or you may even have, you know, your own organisation that you'd like to utilise for the assessment. But we know that it can be incredibly challenging for international students or regional remote students to source a organisation for this project. So this is where Shopfront comes in. We essentially provide the subject with a list of not-for-profits and social enterprises that are seeking support to create a marketing strategy. This list will be provided to you at the early weeks of the semester, and you can select a project if it's of interest to you. On the slide here, you'll see examples of Shopfront projects being delivered by the marketing students this semester. The most common factors about these organisations are they are either not-for-profits or social enterprises, and their mission is to tackle a social issue. So whilst you're completing an assessment to gain credit points, you're also giving back to the community and, you know, making a positive impact. Now, by selecting a Shopfront project, of course, you'll be able to, as Ruby said, you'll be able to contribute the 35 hours to the SOUL badge, but you'll also have access to a Shopfront Canvas site, which has resources and interactive modules on a variety of things such as the community sector, cultural humility, Indigenous Australian context, and also best practice community engagement. So these modules, you know, really provide the support and resources to support you to navigate some of the sensitivities around the projects and the organisations that you might be working with. Next slide, please, Ruby. All right, so what are the benefits if you select a Shopfront project? I just want to take a step back now and just talk a little bit more broadly about the role of a university. We know that one of the core roles is intellectual development of students, but equally as important is to develop civic-minded graduates. This concept of civic-mindedness really refers to an individual's awareness of social issues combined with a strong commitment to address them. Now, at UTS, Shopfront and our sister program SOUL are the main drivers for this civic mindedness piece. So through a Shopfront project and working with a small community organisation, you gain a critical capacity to recognise social issues, and you also gain an increased awareness of the specific challenges faced by our community sector and community stakeholders. We also see that around 89% of students have an increased understanding of their agency to affect social change through their professional practice. Our interactive modules and resources also support you to, understand systems of privilege and oppression, and how you can really, work towards cultural humility and combating the stereotypes that we have within society today. Now, the last point I want to just quickly touch on is that, a Shopfront project really expands your networks to the community sector, and more specifically with the organisation you're working with. You'll be working quite closely with your client, key contact from the organisation, and we often see that high-performing and committed students are offered employment or further work with the organisation as a result of the project. But it really doesn't matter what stage you're in your degree. I think we all know today that networks are really key. Next slide, thanks, Ruby. All right, so in addition to the student benefits, Shopfront has a strong commitment to ensuring collaboration is reciprocal, and it has a mutual benefit. And our reputation is really built on students producing high quality and implementable outputs for the community sector. My team and you guys, you're our students, you work really hard to ensure the projects add value to the organisation. We want to ensure the organisation saves resources and, of course, enhance the impact on the community that they're serving. I think that's a wrap. Is there a next slide, Ruby? No, that's a wrap on Shopfront and SOUL. Any questions?
Thanks so much for that, Ruby and Maddy. That was really, really informative and great to hear more detail about all the great work that you're doing with students there at UTS Shopfront and UTS SOUL. Just to reiterate and clarify that point, so students can engage, for example, with UTS SOUL at any stage during their degree?
Yeah, great question, James. So it's open to all students at UTS at any stage of their degree. So undergraduates to people just about to submit their PhD could sign up, and any faculty or school from UTS, international or domestic. So it's really all walks of life can join SOUL.
Excellent. And so, as you said, you partner with community organisations throughout the different projects. So I guess many students will be working with other students, with teams, collaborating with the community partners. Is that the case?
Yeah, I mean, it does depend on the subject and how it runs. But yeah, typically how it works is there'll be a team of 3 to 5 students that will work with one organisation, or if it's a one-person assessment, it'll just be the student and the organisation working directly together. So it does just depend, yeah.
Yeah, because I guess some projects will have a wider or narrower brief and require different skill sets. And I think that's the advantage of these initiatives at UTS, because we have such a diverse student cohort. Just that, students studying all different disciplines, different subject areas and various faculties around the university. I think that's a valuable thing. One of the great things with our MBA program is we have students that come from a variety of different backgrounds, including culturally and professionally. And so it's certainly, I think you would agree that bringing those skill sets from those professional and cultural backgrounds is very important in coming together and helping community organisations to achieve better outcomes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think our both Shopfront and Soul's cultural humility, agility modules really emphasize or really develop student skills on how to work with different lived experiences and, respectfully engage with those. So, yeah.
That's a great thing because, as our MBA students know, a lot of our MBA students are international students, so they come from different cultures. And some of them, when they start their MBA, they've just arrived in Australia, which is another different, we have our own cultures, here. So I think that's a very valuable part of the UTS SOUL program in terms of upskilling in that area. So, we can understand different perspectives. And how we can work effectively together. And I think that's a great learning. And one of the key things, as we know in the UTS Business School, is that we look at, how we can give back to society and contribute to society in positive ways to build a better world for people and the people that work in the various organisations that we engage with. So I think engaging with the work that you do is integral to that process and putting that into practice. Of course, as you mentioned, we do have that integrated into our marketing core subject, which is an option if students want to select into engaging with a community partner, but also selecting it on an extracurricular basis through UTS SOUL is another thing. And so just to remind me, with doing the essential requirements of UTS SOUL, so those courses, so what times throughout the year were they offered?
So great question. The badge module is on demand, so you can complete that whenever suits you. And the award workshops, we offer around 3 per teaching session, and the SOUL sessions around 5 per teaching session. So there's plenty of opportunities to get your learning requirements done and also connect with other students.
Excellent. Yeah. So basically, as students, decide that they're going to engage, for example, with UTS SOUL, they can, pretty quickly get stuck into it and progress.
Yeah. The program's managed on Career Hub. So the QR code links will take you to the platform. And as soon as you sign up, you can get started. You can start doing social impact action. You can log stuff that you've already done while studying at UTS. It's really easy to just dive right into the program.
Excellent. And I think some of our students have engaged with multiple partners during their work with UTS SOUL. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can, it's very much a choose your own adventure program, obviously within the confines of our policy. But we have some students who have logged, 260 hours with the same organization that they've been working with for the past 2 years. And other students who, are looking to develop a range of different skills, and they've done some event volunteering here, and then they've gotten involved with the peer network, or it's really, there's a range of things and different ways you can get involved and make a social impact through the program.
Excellent. And so did you have any final advice for our MBA students more broadly?
Good question. I actually am a graduate of the SOUL program myself. When I was at UTS, I did not study an MBA or anything in the business school. But I think that for me, it was a really great opportunity to go beyond my degree and to put the things that I was learning in the classroom into practice by engaging with things that I was actually really passionate and interested about. And I've also made some incredible friends that I have, 10 years later. So it's a special program. And if you're looking to kind of get something else out of your university experience, you should sign up for SOUL.
Thanks, Ruby. Maddy?
Yeah, I would also just echo what Ruby said. I think for Shopfront and SOUL, they're both really win-win programs. And I think, it's a great opportunity to, trial your professional practice in a safe space, and build your networks.
Excellent. Well, that was really fantastic. Some great advice for our students and some great opportunities. So I guess you'll look forward to hearing from more MBA students going forward. So thank you very much for your support there. We really, really appreciate that. And we look forward to continuing to work together with UTS Shopfront, UTS SOUL. As you mentioned throughout the slides, you did have QR codes, so they will be shown in the recording. So make sure that if there's more information you want, you do take a photo of the QR code and look that up. We're also going to include some further information in the description under this video in terms of how to engage with UTS Shopfront and UTS SOUL. And if you have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out to myself in terms of your MBA experience and how to engage and make the most of that both within the classroom on an extracurricular basis. So thanks a lot, Ruby and Maddy. I really appreciate your time today. And I look forward to catching up again with you both soon.
Thanks, James.
No worries at all. Thank you.